So let me move on to the next speaker. Next speaker is Professor Suk-Ying Wong, Associate Vice President of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, or CHUK. CHUK is also one of the oldest friends of Keio University and renowned for its research and education, both within Asia and around the world. So both CHUK and Keio are members of the APRU, or the Association for Pacific Rim Universities, and also the board members of API, Asia Pacific Association for International Education. So today, Professor Wong will give a presentation titled Overcoming Challenges in the COVID-19 World for International Exchanges, APRU Virtual Student Exchange. So Professor Wong, please, the time is yours.
Thank you, Professor Obi. I wanted to thank the Keio University under your leadership to organize such an interesting and timely conference for the world. I very much feel that this is actually, I'm like sitting in a universe, looking down and speaking to the whole world and the earth. And people are all looking up to what are we going to do in the next years, or even in the next month. My very last conference that I attended was in Canada, the University of British Columbia. And we were talking about with this more and more globalizing community, especially in education. We have been spending more than any time before in terms of, working against the saving energy motto, because we're all flying around. I think, Professor Obi, we used to see each other at least like 2 to 3 times a year. But since that last conference, I have been sitting here in Hong Kong throughout the last year. Less mobility, so there are more kind of whimsical ideas kicks in, especially learning how to adapt to the new normal. So today I wanted to talk about my topic on how to overcoming the challenges in the COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 world for international exchange. So let me just put you on my screen, a share screen here. All right. I wanted to start with probably in many parts of the world, we're all in teaching, working, or studying, or affiliated to a modern university. So a modern university itself is like mine, the Chinese University of Hong Kong. It's a comprehensive university. We actually have a very unique feature in this university, and that is the adoption of a bilingual policy. So we use both Chinese and English in the university. In fact, with 99% of our lectures are given in both Chinese and English, separate sessions for Chinese, separate sessions for English for students to choose. So that in itself, what we have been trying to work towards our goal of internationalizing the university, having still very much a Chinese culturally oriented foundation in a higher education institution. Now, what's very interesting is this is a modern and actually quite, I would say, up to the international scale university. But like Oxford and Cambridge, we also have a college system inside the university. So we have a bigger community and we have smaller communities to deal with in terms of teaching and learning and research. Here again, this is the university that we're talking about, over 30,000 undergraduates and postgraduate students, with 7,500 non-local students from 60 countries and regions. So not only international students that reached almost 20% of our university student community, but we also have a very long established international academic exchange program in this university. For example, we are the first, we built the first exchange program in 1965 with the University of California system. So nowadays we send our students to all universities under the UC system, the University of California system. Typically, we have about 300 partners all over the world. And very interestingly, we have just last year, we have just reached close to 90% of our students who graduated from this university with at least one non-local exchange experience, whether it is academic exchange or cultural exchange, or even for service learning exchange, or for internship programs. When our students graduate, we aim at 99%, in fact, 100%, but last year we reached almost 99% of them who graduated with a non-local student experience. So because of the COVID-19, it actually poses great challenges to how to think about to compensate for that part of our international exchange and international education for our students. I should also like to mention a little bit, even for our postgraduate programs, we typically have 1/3 of our postgraduate students from nearby Asia. 1/3 of them, in fact, are from overseas, and 1/3 of them are from local. So again, 2/3 of them, in fact, from what we call a non-local area outside of Hong Kong. So all of this, in fact, pose great challenges to the university. So the COVID-19 pandemic threw us all in this, in the big cloud, trying to adapt to it, while at the same time trying to come up with some strategic measures and programs to make up for this very major part of our teaching and learning experience for our students. For teaching experience, we also have typical faculty exchange with foreign universities, with our mainland partner universities. They all got stopped, suspended in the past 9 months or so. So what we have come up is what we now, we just started to make up that part of the international student exchange. We started to launch a virtual student exchange program. What is this international virtual student exchange all about? To start with, let us look at the concepts that we are trying to introduce to our partner institutions, as well as to our own students, as well as to our faculties as well. What we are trying to do is to concentrate still on a typical traditional exchange on 3 pillars, 3 core, we would call them 3 core domains of traditional exchange. The number 1 pillar or the core domain is we always expect our students to participate in some kind of academic learning, academic experience the different pedagogical approaches between their home university and our partner university. So the academic coursework part, we do not want to skip. We do not want to miss that. The other pillar is co-curricular. When we send our students to a foreign or our partner institutions, typically what we expect our students to come back with a cultural experience, some kind of an insight into what they can plan from there about their career after they graduate. Also, what kind of leadership, what kind of socially oriented networks that they can build up through this physical international academic exchange. So this is the second pillar. The third pillar is we want our students to be as engaging as possible when they are in a foreign or our partner institution, so that they will adapt as well as being our own home ambassador to introduce this very important cross-cultural mix and learning through significant others in the different cultures. So with the virtual student exchange concept, we do not want to forsake these three pillars. So here are what I have put in here. We're trying to maintain these three pillars in our international virtual student exchange. So in a very close collaboration with Professor Obi and also Keio University is also a member of this association. This is the Association of Pacific Rim Universities. In collaboration with this association, we started to launch, and it took us almost 3-4 months to start building on what we have already had, our own resources, as well as learning from other partner institutions what kind of resources they have, they can immediately make available. So the pilot program, in fact, already started in August, but I wanted to just travel back a bit on time to introduce to you how we have been trying to make use of this virtual space to launch our student exchange. First of all, with the APRU Association, we have over 47 members in the associations. So we actually invited all the members of APRU, they are all university members, to participate in this virtual student exchange. Again, of course, this is all through an online platform and digital technologies. Now, I mentioned about the three pillars. So I wanted to start to walk you through how we're still trying to maintain, secure, if even to advance a more efficiently and also effectively our pedagogical teaching through an online platform. So the academic coursework, how are we going to mobilize resources in that first pillar? What we first of all try to do is we start to do a survey of all our member universities under the APRU, again, the Association of the Pacific Rim University members. We try to get a sense, an idea, a good count on an inventory of whatever online courses they have already developed. The second step is to invite these member institutions, universities, to contribute what they think are courses that would be able to attract a diverse student body. Let me give you an example. In a university in Mexico, they put together a course on Latino culture, South America, social culture, and also their geopolitical situation sitting in the other side of the Pacific Ocean. We have courses that actually try to capture a more universal, what we call a rubric of academic concerns. For example, society and economy in Asia, For example, we talk about the rising importance of technology and AI, artificial intelligence education. So these are more, has a very universal nature courses that we pull together all these courses and put them in a basket. So now we have a number of courses that we see the value and also the attractiveness to a diverse student body, no matter where they come from, no matter where they enroll themselves into whichever or whatever their university, back home university is. We also invite faculty members to co-teach or co-create new courses. So we have a course on, I just mentioned, society and economy in Asia and Pacific. We're doing a course on conservation of energy, smart cities. Courses like this are very newly developed and with the potential of actually involving a partner university faculty member to co-teach and co-create these new courses. So this, in a way, is the whole basic concept of maintaining and securing good quality of courses that will be attractive enough to a diverse student body under the APRU association. We also emphasize on, for example, a mixed mode of synchronized and asynchronized teaching because of the differences of time zones, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the second pillar, the second domain is how do we actually, using the virtual space, a platform, to still trying to fill up the other very important domain of the co-curricular part. I mentioned in the traditional international exchange, students could actually go to France, students could actually go to UC Berkeley, could actually go to Keio University to participate in all those social programs. So how are we going to do this online? So what we have planned on to do is we will put together using a rather different pedagogical approach by encouraging more online discussion courses, encouraging workshops organized by our experts, for example, financial technology experts. We find guest speakers from Hong Kong. We find guest speakers from the southern part of China, Guangdong, and the Greater Bay Area. We find experts from other partner institutions who would like to talk about, for example, financial technology in today's different parts of the world, how they get introduced into different sectors of our economic and social life. These are very casual talks, but we can get students to participate in online discussion, raising questions. Even if we also have courses that we put together competitions for different student groups from different universities to do online and post-lecture exercises using a sort of a more student context and student competitions. So for the co-curricular programs, we focus on 4 aspects. On the cultural part, which I have introduced, for example, we're putting together a very interesting cultural course to be put and placed in the co-curricular domain, the pillar on Hong Kong culture and society. The food culture, the food pathway, this kind of cultural courses into this aspect under the co-curricular program. We also encourage students to think about using the online platform to develop their potentials in leadership skills. With this, in the context of globalization, communication, and teamwork, with thought leaders, with successful entrepreneurs, we invited to give talks in this area. We hope students across the Pacific Rim they will be able to get new insights into how they can polish or even start thinking about leadership skills. We also wanted to, which is actually a very important part in the probably in the post-COVID-19 world, that is the career aspect. We keep telling our students that they should not just prepare themselves domestically employable, they also prepare themselves universally or globally employable. So with this whole year, the outbreak of the pandemic, we probably have to open some new windows for our students to look into the career aspect. How are they going to prepare for future industries, practice skills needed for the future workplace? What I call it as the brave new normal. And from university, from college attendance to the new work world. So in the co-curricular aspect, we focus on also the career talks, the career training of interview skills on Zoom, and what are the distinct features that they wanted to highlight themselves in terms of more now what we call generic skills and specialized skills, and versus their other experiences in their undergraduate education. The part on social is also important in terms of networking with other students in our partner foreign universities. They can exchange what they have already been engaged in back home, like building up a network on games. Typically our students perhaps from this side of the world will build on a major game, and in exchange for learning in the Western world, perhaps chess, in terms of that kind of social networking, we also wanted to include in the co-curricular programs. So all in all, the APRU International Virtual Student Exchange, again, I wanted to remind our audience here that we try to maintain and secure 3 domains and 3 pillars: the academic pillar, the co-curricular domain, as well as the social networking, engaging our students in building friendships and establish professional networks through this new mode of teaching. Now, putting it together, there are some basic principles that I just wanted to briefly mention about here. The reciprocity is very important. It's consortium-wide. We emphasize on, again, this close international collaboration between and among institutions, higher education institutions, for example, co-teaching courses, putting courses in the basket so that we can all share among institutions. We insist on no tuitions to the host institutions. Students will just have to pay to their own home institution, whatever the fees are. The home institution, university, they will manage the credit transfers. So whatever they decide, that whatever courses that the students have taken, they have to decide how many credit that the students can transfer back to their curricular program, or whether they will actually expand the credit transfer system to other areas, and not only in the international academic exchange program. So these are, we have ample opportunity for the home university to manage academic load and credit transfers. We have managed to build a sort of a virtual central office here in Hong Kong. The central office is now jointly managed by the Chinese University of Hong Kong. We have Office of Academic Links and the Office of APRU, the Association Pacific Rim Universities. Okay, so where are we now? Since August, We have finally selected 60+ courses in our basket on the academic part. Now having 9 universities now taking advantage of this virtual student exchange program. Now remember, this is just a pilot program. We will keep increasing as time goes along. There will be more universities joining. There will be more courses in the basket. What is very interesting is these 9 universities in fact represents across 3 continents, America, North America, Asia, as well as South America, involving 7 economies. What I have just mentioned is what we have tried as much as possible to face up to the challenges posed to us in the past 9 months or a year or so. Remember, the outbreak of the COVID-19 in fact started from Asia. We step up and roll up our sleeves to try to combat the COVID-19, and I think for all of us in Asia, we have now more or less learned, in fact, adapted to what we call an online or Zoom learning. Some students now would use Zoom fatigue, professor, too many Zoom courses and lectures now. So I wanted just to spend very little time to just share with you what were the lessons that the Chinese University of Hong Kong have learned in our past? Remember, we have in the past 3 terms, semesters, we have adopted 100% online learning, online mode. Started with a sort of a mixed mode into 100% online mode, and beginning from late October, we will go back to a mixed half and half online and what we call a hybrid, a face-to-face, and half of it will be still be kept in the online mode. We are quite confident at this moment that in the second semester, we will be able in January, perhaps in 2021, in the second term, we are very much looking forward to bringing back 80% to 90% of face-to-face teaching. So what were the lessons learned and the challenges ahead? We did a survey beginning from the last semester and also this semester, so 2 semesters. Let me first of all give you a bit of a background. We're very much concerned about whether there are any cultural and social factors, like Professor Chair has just shared with us, that hinder the success of cross-cultural international online teaching. What kind of devices for online learning becomes, in fact, quite a big challenge? And I will just share an example with you later on. Are they, to what extent the level of satisfaction of the living environment that they are in? Remember, most of our Asians live in smaller areas, smaller apartments than our Western or American counterparts. Are we doing better in terms of internet connection in this part of the world? That will also affect the satisfaction level of using the online learning. Are they quickly also adapting to the online learning platform, including our professors, including our even administrators? What are the readiness for online learning? We in different time zones, we actually survey 5 different aspects on the survey. The response rate, let me just give you, we survey about the whole student population of our students who did not come back, who were not actually taking residence, campus residence. Local students took 70%, mainland students 26%, as well as 36% of our international students. Okay. I just wanted to show you, this is the interesting aspect of what I call the socio-economic background does affect the satisfactory level of our students who participated in this online platform learning in the last 2 semesters. Both satisfied. In terms of their socioeconomic background, we try to survey on against the monthly household income. This is per month income. Now, you see that the median income, these are the students' monthly incomes who responded back. And with this level of income versus also they were happy also with the device, the online platform that the university provided, their study environment at home, participating at home using online platform, the satisfactory level is close to 71%. So if you are in a better socio-economic status, let's say you have your own room back home, participating in online learning, together with all the connections, together with the device that you have in hand, the satisfactory level is almost 71%. But if you think about, this is the median income level, that it goes down to the lower quartile. The satisfactory level of the studying environment at home using online platform reduced to about 28%. So what I'm saying here is the home environment that provides the space. If you live in a larger house, that your socioeconomic background, your income level is higher, together with the affordability of a better device, with the university's provision of facilitating a satisfactory level, all of these together, our students are happier with using the online platform studying environment at home. But without that, especially smaller house, not even having their own space to do their online learning, this becomes a factor, in fact, impacting and affecting their satisfactory level. The semester has just started in September 7, which was about 3 weeks ago. We immediately conducted a survey because they have already participated in the summer and also the last semester. The first week, these are just the geographical location that our students participated in the online learning. So you see that these are all kinds of components, not very many from other parts of the world, Asia, mainland, 20% from mainland, mostly from our local. Okay. Compared to face-to-face classes, we asked them, do you think your level of attention and participation increased? Now, these students have already participated in online learning for one, we call it the spring semester plus a summer semester, perhaps. Do you think your level of attention and participation increased in the virtual lessons? We have more students now say no, 61% of them. Do you think Zoom has enabled you, that is online learning, to learn effectively? This gets closer. So 37% versus 41%. So they're happier. They think the online platform, after 6 months of participating on online learning, they think they can learn more, a bit more effectively. But the attention and the participation level has not been as good, even after 6 months they have participated online learning. These are the teachers. I do not want to spend too much time on the teachers, but we have teachers who participated in online. 77%. Just last semester, less of them participated, and less of them, in fact, now responded. So I do not want to spend too much time on this, but I just wanted to quickly share with you some of the observation, compare with the results of a similar survey we conducted in term 2 versus the last 3 weeks that we have just collected back, the last 3 weeks survey. There are actually no major differences in many items. Students learn to now use more Zoom functions. There are more positive views on the facilitative function of Zoom. So this all refer to the familiarity with the using of online features, with the Zoom features. But if you see here, fewer teachers, in fact, agreed or strongly agreed that Zoom could enable teachers to teach effective lessons. So again, you see more teachers still would think the face-to-face pedagogical approach would actually facilitate better or effective teaching. In fact, we found out after 3 weeks, we have more students. In fact, more students they said students were less attentive this term compared to the last term that we first implemented the online learning. But students now asked more questions. There's a bit of cultural factors that we wanted to explore here. Typically, even in classroom teaching, Asian students are not very used to be very proactive or very initiative to ask questions. But in fact, with the online platform, students found that they are now more adventurous, in fact, more proactive in asking more questions. Students found that they were more engaged, but the overall level of satisfaction dropped a little bit. The last 3 weeks, we have collected 54% versus 66%. I wanted just to highlight some of the qualitative comments that are not common in our last survey in this very recent 3 weeks. Most students prefer face-to-face instruction. What's interesting now is they found it more difficult in forming groups for group work because of this online learning, because we encourage participatory learning in face-to-face presentation, group work, group presentation, etc. I wanted also to highlight the very last aspect that the students have expressed in the qualitative comments. They found it more lonely now, no friends with this online learning. So with the Association Pacific Rim University and our now the International Student Exchange, Virtual Exchange platform for promoting this very brave new normal of cross cultures, cross continents, international student exchange. We very much look forward to see whether this brave new normal will have also shed lights on whether we can just embrace a new mode of international exchange in the near future. So my presentation, I will conclude here. I will stop here. Thank you very much for your attention. I myself found that who participated in the whole this international virtual student exchange. I am learning as well throughout the whole process. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Wong, for very extensive and detailed explanation about the experience at Chinese University of Hong Kong.